If you have ever dipped your toe into the world of political economics, you have probably heard his name. He is considered by many to be the father of the field and one of the most influential thinkers in all of history. Let's take a tour through the life and ideas of Adam Smith. Welcome to Factually True Economics. Adam Smith was born in 1723 in Kirkcaldy, Scotland. He was baptized into the Church of Scotland on the 5th of June, which has also been used as his date of birth due to the fact that his real one is actually unknown. Not a lot is known of his early life, except that he was raised by his mother, since his father, also Adam Smith, had died only a few months after his birth. It is also told that Smith was briefly abducted by gypsies when he was 3 years old, before being successfully rescued. At the age of 14, Smith entered the University of Glasgow, where he studied moral philosophy under Francis Hutcheson. In 1740, Smith began postgraduate studies at Oxford, though his time at Glasgow is said to have been far more important for his life work, as he did not really appreciate the teaching in Oxford and was quite unhappy with his surroundings. He left the university 6 years later, having almost suffered a nervous breakdown, and began a prosperous teaching career in Edinburgh. In 1750, he met David Hume, another important figure of the Scottish Enlightenment, with whom he would collaborate on multiple writings covering politics, history, economics, and religion. 9 years later, he published The Theory of Moral Sentiments, which dealt with how morality depends on mutual sympathy. Smith himself actually considered this his main work, and only afterwards started to lean more towards economics. In the 1760s, Smith toured Europe, tutoring the young Duke of Buccleuch Henry Scott, whose father had been introduced to him by Hume. On his travels, he was introduced to many notable figures, including Voltaire, Benjamin Franklin, and Frances Quesnay, who had a tremendous influence on him. After the death of Henry Scott's younger brother, Smith soon returned home to Kirkcaldy, where he dedicated much of the next decade to working on his next book. An inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nations, later abbreviated to the Wealth of Nations by people better at naming stuff, was published in 1776 and is considered to be his magnum opus. In the book, Smith described a network of individual voluntary trades and the division of labor. While he wasn't the first one to come up with these ideas, with for example Finnish philosopher Anders Chydenius presenting almost identical ones 11 years earlier, he can certainly be credited with popularizing the modern free market thinking. In The Wealth of Nations, Smith also introduced his most famous metaphor, the invisible hand, which of course is the tool 13-year-old libertarians on the internet use to mentally masturbate. The core of it is that ultimately the actions of self-serving rational individuals will benefit society as a whole. It might be worth mentioning though that during Smith's time the concept of externalities didn't even exist, and climate change, for example, wasn't really a concern. Then again, several self-taught freethinkers make a pretty convincing argument against it today too, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Please don't call me a cock. Now that you're familiar with Smith and his ideas, you can also sign in the YouTube comment section on basically any video. Go ahead and try it below. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, share it to your friends, and subscribe to Factually True for more interesting educational content. You can also click the links on the screen to immediately watch another Factually True video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep learning.